Hollywood is in absolute chaos tonight because a single subpoena has flipped the entire Blake Lively saga upside down. A journalist, someone who was never supposed to be part of this, has just been dragged into the courtroom crossfire, and insiders say this move wasn't about evidence. It was about intimidation. And now the industry is asking the same question: what is Blake Lively trying to hide? And why is she going after the people talking about it? The moment the subpoena news hit, everything shifted. For weeks, the Blake Lively legal drama had been spiraling messy filings, contradictory statements, leaks, denials, and a PR machine working overtime to keep the narrative under control. But the second a journalist's name appeared on a legal document, the entire tone of this case changed. This wasn't just celebrity gossip anymore. This was strategy. This was power. This was a direct shot across the bow of anyone who dared to publicly question the holes in Blake's story. And Hollywood felt that tremor immediately. Industry insiders started texting one another. Studio executives held last-minute meetings. And PR teams scrambled because they knew exactly what this meant. Blake wasn't playing defense anymore. She was going on the offensive. But here's the part that stunned everyone. This wasn't just any journalist. This was someone known for commentary, analysis, and opinion, not someone sitting on hidden evidence, not someone involved behind the scenes, not someone connected to Justin Baldoni's camp in any meaningful way. So why target them? Why pull them into a legal nightmare that could cost thousands in attorney fees, damage their reputation, and place them under the microscope? The answer, according to multiple legal experts, is brutally simple: to create fear. To send a message to every commentator, every creator, every journalist covering this case that Blake Lively is done tolerating criticism, and that she's willing to use the court system to silence the conversation, if she has to, and the public reaction was instant. People across social media erupted with outrage, calling this a blatant attempt to weaponize the legal system against free speech. Fans of Blake were confused, supporters of Justin Baldoni felt vindicated, and neutral observers were suddenly choosing sides. Because whether you agree with Blake or not, whether you believe her narrative or Baldoni's, one thing is obvious: dragging a journalist into a personal feud is not normal. It signals desperation. It signals pressure. It signals someone losing grip on the narrative they thought they controlled. Even worse for Blake's team, the subpoena backfired almost immediately. Instead of silencing the story, it amplified it. The journalist's response went viral. Commentary channels exploded with coverage, and mainstream outlets began circling like sharks smelling blood in the water. Suddenly, the big conversation wasn't about Blake's claims, or Baldoni's defense, or the leaked texts. It was about Blake herself, and whether she has crossed a line that could permanently damage her reputation. And behind the scenes, sources say the panic is real. Blake's legal team is scrambling to justify this move. Her PR strategists are fielding calls from reporters demanding answers. And insiders claim that even some of her own Hollywood allies are becoming uncomfortable. Because they know how this looks. They know what this implies. And they know that once you start subpoenaing journalists, you invite a level of scrutiny that even A-listers cannot control. The irony in all of this is that Blake Lively expected silence. She expected compliance. She expected the journalist, someone with far fewer resources than a Hollywood multimillionaire, to simply bow to pressure, cooperate quietly, and disappear from the public conversation. But instead, she got the exact opposite. Within hours of receiving the subpoena, the journalists did what Blake's team never anticipated. They went public. And not just with a vague statement or a cautious acknowledgement. They laid everything out: the timing, the method of service, the tone of the legal document, the absurdity of the request, and suddenly the quiet legal maneuver. Blake thought she could slip through the cracks became the biggest headline of the week. Blake's team was blindsided. According to insiders, they expected this to be a contained move, something that would intimidate smaller creators and critics without drawing mainstream attention. But once the journalist revealed that Blake was demanding records, communications, and internal editorial reasoning, things normally protected under press freedom, the backlash was unstoppable. Even commentators who had previously supported Blake were forced to pause and question what these tactics really meant. Because you don't subpoena someone's notes and private conversations unless you're desperate to control a narrative that is slipping away from Utah, and that desperation is becoming more visible by the day. Multiple sources close to industry PR firms have whispered that Blake's team is in full lockdown mode, scrambling to contain the fallout, trying to rewrite talking points and urging her to stay off social media entirely. Meanwhile, her lawyers are reportedly drafting new filings to justify the subpoena in a way that doesn't look retaliatory, a nearly impossible task, given the public record. The move has already caused damage that no crisis management blueprint can fully reverse. Behind the scenes, the fear is palpable. Executives who once happily aligned themselves with Blake are now quietly distancing themselves, unsure how deep this conflict will go or what secrets might be forced into the public eye. Hollywood operates on image, on perception, and on alliances, and right now, Blake's aggressive legal posture is making people wonder what she's protecting so fiercely. Nobody subpoenas a journalist over nothing, and nobody lashes out this broadly unless they believe something is coming that could blow everything wide open. But the biggest threat to Blake isn't the journalist's public statement, it's the way the media has now reframed the entire narrative. Instead of discussing Baldoni, instead of focusing on Blake's original claims, reporters and commentators are asking a new, far more dangerous question: what exactly is Blake Lively trying to stop people from seeing? And that kind of question spreads like wildfire. It opens the door to speculation, invites deeper digging, and puts a spotlight on every inconsistency, every contradiction, every unexplained action Blake has made throughout this case. Even worse, some legal experts have pointed out that this subpoena could actually backfire inside the courtroom too. Judges don't like intimidation tactics. They don't like when celebrities use legal tools as weapons instead of evidence gathering. And if the court views this as an overreach, as an attempt to silence or punish criticism, Blake could face consequences far beyond bad press. This could damage her credibility, undermine her claims, and give Baldoni's team the perfect opportunity to argue that she is acting in bad faith. And yet, despite all this, the biggest story is still unfolding. Because once that subpoena was exposed, more creators came forward. More journalists stepped up. More people admitted they had been pressured or monitored or contacted in ways they felt were suspicious. And suddenly, Blake's legal strategy isn't just controversial, it's unraveling. When the shock of the subpoena settled, something even more telling happened. People in Hollywood began quietly backing away from Blake Lively. At first, it was subtle: executives delaying meetings, publicists refusing to comment, and a few of Blake's usual defenders suddenly going silent online. But within days, it became impossible to ignore. The same insiders who once praised Blake's courage were now refusing to touch the situation at all, afraid of becoming collateral damage in a conflict that had spiraled far beyond anything they expected. Because when a celebrity starts subpoenaing journalists, everyone in the industry knows exactly what that means. There's something she desperately doesn't want the public to see. Behind closed doors, studio executives have been whispering their concerns. Blake has multiple big-budget projects in development, and sources say some studios are already quietly reviewing contract clauses, contingency plans, and PR risk assessments. No studio wants to be associated with a star in the middle of a public meltdown, and certainly not one who may be accused of abusing the legal system. A-listers get away with a lot in Hollywood, but one thing they cannot survive is becoming a liability. And right now, Blake is looking less like a golden girl and more like someone who could drag an entire production into a PR sinkhole. But the real reason people are distancing themselves isn't just the subpoena, it's what that subpoena suggests. For weeks, whispers have circulated about the leaked Taylor Swift texts that both sides know are devastating. These messages, allegedly referencing private conversations between Blake and Taylor, have been described as explosive, damaging, and career-threatening. And the possibility that they might become admissible evidence has sent panic through Blake's entire circle. Because once those texts come out, the public will see everything Blake has been trying so hard to keep buried: the contradictions, the inconsistencies, and the tone she used behind the scenes that directly conflicts with the public image she spent years cultivating. Hollywood insiders know all of this. They know when a celebrity is acting from fear rather than confidence. They know when someone's PR narrative is cracking. And they know when a legal strategy has turned into a cover-up. That's why the energy around Blake has shifted so dramatically. Instead of praising her, people are questioning her. Instead of defending her, they're monitoring her from a safe distance. And instead of seeing her as a victim, many are beginning to wonder whether she is the one who caused the chaos she's now desperately trying to contain. The subpoena was supposed to tighten Blake's grip on the story. Instead, it revealed how weak that grip really is. Suddenly, every move she makes looks suspicious. Every filing looks like an attempt to stall. Every public appearance looks scripted. And every silence looks like guilt. Hollywood doesn't trust uncertainty, and Blake has become the most unpredictable figure in the industry. Someone whose next action could trigger another media storm, another backlash, another set of questions she can't answer. And in the middle of all this, Justin Baldoni's team remains eerily calm. Insiders say his lawyers saw the subpoena as a gift, a clear sign Blake's camp is panicking. The more aggressive she becomes, the more reasonable Baldoni appears. And with the leaked text looming like a storm cloud over the entire case, Baldoni's side knows that time is on their side. Every day Blake escalates, every day she lashes out. Every day she tries to silence someone, she only strengthens the argument that she has something to hide. Meanwhile, creators across social media have begun documenting every step, every development, every contradiction. It's becoming a living record, one that Blake can't erase, can't rewrite, and can't subpoena away. And Hollywood is watching all of it. They're watching her crack under pressure. They're watching her alienate allies. They're watching her try to control a story that has taken on a life of its own. And they know the truth. Once the industry loses faith in you, there's no PR team on Earth that can put that genie back in the bottle. The Blake Lively saga has now reached a point where the line between strategy and desperation is blurred, and Hollywood is watching every move and every misstep because what started as a private dispute has exploded into a public spectacle that could define careers and reputations for years. Insiders say the subpoena of a journalist was the single most revealing moment in this entire case, showing not just the lengths Blake is willing to go to control the narrative, but also the fear and uncertainty that is spreading through her inner circle. Every legal maneuver now feels like a gamble with extremely high stakes because the leaked texts are waiting in the wings, ready to potentially undo everything she has tried to protect. And while her lawyers scramble to justify every filing and PR teams attempt damage control, the reality is that the public and the industry alike are now questioning motives, actions, and credibility. Nothing in Hollywood survives long when trust erodes. And questions mount, and the more aggressive these tactics appear, the more they signal panic and instability. And as creators, journalists, and insiders continue documenting every twist, turn, and revelation, it becomes clear that the next chapter of this legal battle will not just determine the outcome of a lawsuit, but may very well reshape how power, influence, and reputation are perceived in a world where every move is scrutinized, every whisper amplified, and every secret waiting to be exposed.